The courtroom had gone dead quiet. Meri stood, her hands trembling, not from fear, but from fury. What she was about to reveal wouldn't just expose Kody and Robyn. It would detonate the entire Brown family's past. When the DNA report finally landed on the judge's desk, even he froze. Before we begin, do you think Meri's about to blow up Kody's final lie? Outside the Salt Lake County Courthouse, the wind howled. Cold, sharp, alive with anticipation. Inside courtroom 6B, tension hung thick, as if the walls themselves could sense what was coming. Meri Brown entered, heels clicking with finality. Her face was calm, but her eyes, still and hollow, carried the weight of everything she'd buried. She didn't look at Kody or Robyn. She didn't need to. Their presence was a chill down her spine. Kody sat slouched, jaw locked, glancing not at Meri but toward the press in the back. He knew they weren't supposed to film, but he could feel the invisible cameras rolling. Robyn fidgeted with the frayed strap of her purse, eyes already wet. They once tried to bury Meri, but this time she came with a shovel of her own. The bailiff's voice cracked through the air. All rise for the Honorable Judge Judge Whitmore. Everyone stood. Judge Whitmore, silver-haired, unflinching, took his seat and went straight to business. We are here for the case of Meri Brown versus Kody Brown and Robyn Brown. Charges include financial deception, concealment of marital property, and... He paused, brow raised. Paternity deception regarding minor child records. Are all parties present? Meri's voice was steady. Present, Your Honor. Kody muttered the same. Robyn just nodded, silently falling apart. Meri's attorney, Dana Carreel, rose, compact, poised, and razor-sharp. Your Honor, this case is built on one word, trust. My client gave over 20 years of her life to what was supposed to be a shared covenant. Instead, she was repaid with deceit, erasure, and financial betrayal. She began pacing slowly, methodically. We will show that Mr. and Mrs. Brown diverted joint assets, hid funds, and in the most shocking betrayal, concealed the truth about a child's biological parentage, a truth my client only discovered after the divorce. A ripple of murmurs ran through the gallery. Kody shifted in his seat. Robyn went pale. Judge Whitmore lifted a hand. Order. He turned to Kody's attorney. Mr. Hale? Martin Hale, older and already irritated, rose stiffly. Your Honor, this is emotional theater. The Browns divorced over a decade ago. These are religious grievances, not legal ones. Whitmore's eyes narrowed. Then why do we have bank transfers and property deeds signed after the divorce? In Ms. Brown's name? A pause. Martin glanced at Kody, just a second too long. And that silence said everything. Whitmore leaned forward. You may not recognize your spiritual marriage, Mr. Brown, but the law still cares when names, money, and property are shuffled under the table. Kody's fist tightened. Robyn whispered urgently, but he ignored her, eyes now locked on Meri. And Meri, for the first time, met his stare without flinching. Plaintiff may proceed with testimony, said the judge. Meri stood. Her knees wavered once, but her voice did not. I was Kody's first wife. For more than 20 years, I believed in the dream. A united family, a spiritual covenant. I gave up legal rights so his fourth wife could be adopted in. I thought it was for love. But behind that gesture, paperwork was being filed to erase me, to take everything I built. Her tone hardened. Months after our symbolic divorce, I discovered my name had been removed from the family trust. The properties I helped pay for were now in a new LLC. The accounts I contributed to were emptied. The courtroom was motionless. Even the judge didn't look away. I stayed silent because I didn't want to be the bitter ex-wife. But then, her voice quivered. I found something that changed everything. Meri motioned toward a folder. Dana handed it to the judge. Your Honor, Dana said, you are now holding a sealed paternity report. It reveals a discrepancy in the parental records submitted by Mr. and Mrs. Brown. My client was never informed, though the child was publicly claimed as part of their shared family. A soft sob escaped Robyn. Kody leaned back, stunned. Judge Whitmore read silently for several seconds, then snapped the folder shut. Recess, 20 minutes. The gavel struck. But the damage was already done. Reporters flooded the hallway. DNA scandal, paternity lies, Brown family betrayed. The headlines exploded online within minutes. Meri sat still. She had trained herself to stay composed after years of quiet humiliation. Now that silence had become her armor. Dana leaned close. This next part, she whispered, is going to hurt more than the first. Ready? Meri nodded once. Barely, she said, but yes. 20 minutes later, the gavel cracked again. The courtroom reassembled, heavier, quieter. Robyn looked 5 years older. Kody, stone-faced, refused to raise his eyes. Judge Whitmore cleared his throat. This court deals in facts, not gossip. And the facts here are troubling. He placed the DNA report face down on the bench. What's written in this document may redefine the entire case. Meri didn't flinch. She already knew. Whitmore turned to the defense. Mr. Hale, has your client reviewed this document? Hale stammered. We were unaware of its existence, Your Honor. We question its admissibility. Whitmore cut him off. It's certified, signed by both parties, and Mr. Brown's name is right here. Kody finally broke. Your Honor, if I may— No! Whitmore snapped. You'll speak when spoken to. He turned to Meri. Ms. Brown, please continue. Meri rose again. This time her voice shook. Not from fear, but contained rage. I didn't want this. I didn't want to destroy anyone. But when I saw my name erased from every document, when my life's work vanished into his new accounts, I had to ask, why? Why was I being erased? Her eyes locked on Kody. It wasn't about money. It was about control. Silence, thick and heavy. A woman called me months ago. She had questions about the biological father of her child. Said Robyn once told her to stay quiet, for the family's sake. I ignored it at first, but fear made me look deeper. And what I found? She hesitated, voice cracking slightly. It devastated me. Step by deliberate step, she approached the judge's bench. Dana handed over another printed copy of the lab report. This, Meri said quietly, is the truth they spent years hiding. The room was still. The kind of still that comes before an explosion. The kind of still that comes before an explosion. This test, she says, holding the report aloft, proves that the child Robyn claimed as Kody's, the child she brought into our so-called spiritual marriage, was never biologically his. But paper said otherwise. And that paper was used to manipulate the family trust. A collective gasp ripples through the courtroom. Reporters nearly drop their pens. Betrayal sometimes comes smiling, with trembling hands and kind eyes. The judge raps his gavel. Judge Whitmore. Ms. Brown, are you saying forged paternal documents were used to access family assets? Meri. Not saying, Your Honor. Proving. She turns to Robyn, eyes locked. I loved your children as my own. I gave up my legal marriage for you, and you repaid me with deceit. Robyn breaks down, sobbing uncontrollably. You don't understand, she cries. You weren't there. You don't know what I had to do to protect my babies. Judge Whitmore. Mrs. Brown, control yourself. But the explosion has already begun. Kody stands abruptly, face red. This is a witch hunt. That woman, he jabs a finger toward Meri, has been trying to destroy this family for years. She's jealous because I fell out of love with her. Jealous because I loved someone else. Meri doesn't even blink. You didn't fall out of love, Kody. You stopped seeing me. The judge sighs, rubbing his temples. Mr. Brown, sit down. Mrs. Brown, compose yourself. This isn't therapy, it's court. Dana rises, crisp and controlled. Your Honor, Exhibit C. Bank statements showing transfers from the family trust to a private account in Robyn Brown's name. Those transfers were authorized using documents stating Kody Brown was the legal father of the child, the same child proven otherwise by DNA. The judge scans the pages, face tightening. Judge Whitmore. I see. Kody's lawyer leaps to his feet. Even if there was an error, Your Honor, it was purely clerical. Judge Whitmore snaps. Don't insult this court. We're far beyond clerical errors. This was intentional. He turns back to Meri. Anything else before we break for cross-examination? Meri exhales, steady but exhausted. Just one thing, Your Honor. I never wanted this in public. But I won't be erased again. She returns to her seat. Her hands still tremble, but she no longer hides it. Judge Whitmore. Court adjourned until 10 a.m. tomorrow. The gavel falls. But before anyone can move, a voice calls out from the back. Your Honor! Everyone turns. A young woman stands, pale and shaking. Judge Whitmore. State your name. Woman. Emily Larson. And I believe I'm the biological mother of the child in that report. Gasps erupt again. Kody goes white. Robyn looks like she might faint. Meri just stares. The judge doesn't move. He studies the trembling woman. Judge Whitmore. Miss Larson, were you brought here by the plaintiff? Emily. No, sir. The trial's public? I read the child's name and saw the DNA results. I couldn't stay silent. Robyn lets out a strangled cry, half sob, half scream. Pain fills the room. No one can hide anymore. Judge Whitmore. Bailiff, escort Miss Larson to the witness room. She'll testify under subpoena tomorrow. No further comments. As Emily is let out, Kody starts to rise, but his lawyer yanks him back down. Reporters whisper furiously into their phones. Meri's lawyer, Dana, stays silent, but the small, knowing smile on her face says everything. Outside, news helicopters swarm overhead. By nightfall, Emily Larson is trending across every platform. The next morning, by 9:30 a.m., Courtroom 6B is packed, standing room only. At 10:03, the gavel hits. Judge Whitmore, Miss Larson, you may take the stand. Emily enters. She's composed now. Hair tied back, no makeup, eyes clear and steady. She takes the oath. Dana. Miss Larson, tell us how you know the child in question. Emily. His name was Ethan. I gave birth to him in 2007. I was 19, unmarried, and alone. I placed him in a closed adoption. Murmurs spread. The gavel cracks once, twice. Dana. Who were the adoptive parents? Emily. I didn't know then. But 2 years ago, through a friend in family law, I found out Robyn Brown had adopted him and listed her then-boyfriend, Kody Brown, as the father on the official papers. Robyn shoots up, furious, tear-streaked. That's not true. I adopted him legally. I raised him as my own. Emily's voice rises, trembling but unrelenting. You lied to the agency. You claimed you were married to Kody. You falsified the paperwork. I never would have agreed to it if I'd known. Judge Whitmore. Mrs. Brown, you'll have your turn. Sit down. Emily takes a deep breath. I came here because Kody used that fake document, the one naming him as Ethan's father, to move money into a trust. That's not deception. That's theft. Meri watches silently. Not gloating, just hollow. The betrayal is too old, too deep to even sting now. Kody finally speaks, voice strained. Your Honor, this isn't what it looks like. Robyn and I co-parented Ethan. The paperwork might have been messy, but our motive was love. Dana cuts in sharply. Love, Mr. Brown? Is that what you call removing Meri's name from every family account? Or diverting retirement funds into Robyn's business under the label for the kids? Kody's face burns red. You don't know what it's like running a plural family. Everything we did was to survive. Judge Whitmore, you'll answer the questions, Mr. Brown, not deliver speeches. The mask cracks. For the first time, the self-assured patriarch looks cornered. Emily is excused. She walks past Robyn slowly. Robyn doesn't look up. Meri rises again when the judge allows it. Meri, for years I believed silence was strength. That patience was love. But silence only made it easier for them to take everything. My money, my name, my place. She pulls another folder from Dana's briefcase. These are withdrawal records. Thousands of dollars moved from the family account into Robyn's personal business. I traced every cent, not one ever came back. The judge studies the documents grimly. We'll recess for lunch. When we return, the defense will respond. But let me make this clear. We are no longer dealing with a family dispute. We are discussing financial fraud. If these papers hold, criminal charges are on the table. The gavel slams down. For the first time in his life, Kody Brown looks terrified. When a patriarch loses control, the entire empire begins to crumble. When the court resumes after lunch, the air feels heavier. Courtroom 6B isn't just a courtroom anymore. It's a pressure chamber ready to detonate. Kody Brown takes the stand. The swagger is gone. The man once adored on television now looks hollow, weighed down by the very lies that built his empire. He raises his hand, swears in, and avoids Meri's eyes. Dana approaches, her tone calm, surgical. Dana, Mr. Brown, you've heard the evidence. Do you deny transferring more than $160,000 from the family trust into private accounts under Robyn Brown's name over a 5-year period? The courtroom holds its breath. For once, Kody has no clever words, only silence. Kody moves slowly. I did what I needed to provide for my family, he says, voice low. The money was for the children all along. The children, Dana repeats, and the one who wasn't yours? The one listed as your biological son on forged documents, used to drain the family trust? Kody's throat tightens. It was complicated. So you admit the paperwork was forged? Silence. In court, silence can be louder than guilt, and Kody's silence is deafening. The intention, he mutters finally, was to provide stability. Finn was raised as mine. I loved him as if he were mine. Dana leans in. Then why hide it? Why keep Meri and the others in the dark? Why build a lie around love? Because Robyn was under attack, Kody snaps. They never trusted her. They judged her every move. Or, Dana whispers, they saw what you refused to see. Kody's mouth opens, then closes. The judge watches, expression unreadable, as the image of the man once untouchable begins to crumble before everyone's eyes. Then Dana produces a small manila envelope. Your Honor, Exhibit E, an audio file dated February 2022. She holds up a USB drive. It features Mrs. Robyn Brown discussing trust funds, adoption records, and the removal of Meri Brown from family accounts. Kody's head jerks toward Robyn. What? Robyn's face goes pale. You can't play that. Play it, the judge orders. A single click, and then Robyn's voice floods the courtroom. I told Kody to move it. She doesn't need to know. She'll just fight it. She always makes things difficult. Who even cares? She's not part of this family anymore. Another clip follows. She'll never see the papers. They're hidden under the LLC. Kody signs what I tell him to. He always does. The courtroom freezes. Even breath feels heavy. Kody stares at Robyn like she's a stranger. Robyn doesn't move. Her mascara-streaked face a battlefield of guilt and panic. Dana doesn't speak. She doesn't have to. The recording has spoken for her. Mrs. Brown, the judge says finally, take the stand. Robyn staggers forward, knees trembling, voice breaking. Did you direct your husband to move trust money? I made him transfer it, but it wasn't stealing. It was safety. Safety from what, Mrs. Brown? From them. From Meri, from Janelle. From Christine. They never trusted me. And did you instruct Kody to falsify paternity documents? No answer. Yes or no? Robyn gasps, trembling, then nods. Kody slams his fist on the table. You said he was mine. Robyn fires back through tears. You never asked. You just believed what you wanted to believe. Chaos erupts. The judge hammers his gavel. Order, but order is gone. Robyn collapses, sobbing. Kody stares at nothing. Meri doesn't move. She only watches, the empire that once destroyed her collapsing in real time. Dana hands the final sheet to the judge. We rest, Your Honor. Defense has nothing left. The judge sighs. Court adjourned. We'll reconvene tomorrow for a final determination. Meri rises, steady, quiet, unbroken. She walks past Kody, past Robyn, past the flashing cameras. Finally free. The next day. Gray skies, no rain. Just stillness over Salt Lake City. Meri enters the courtroom. Same navy blazer, new calm. Kody sits slouched. No tie, no arrogance. Robyn is absent, her lawyer citing emotional distress. All rise, says the bailiff. Judge Whitmore looks across the room. This was presented as a financial dispute, he begins. But it was never just about money. It was about trust, about power, and how both can be corrupted. He reviews the papers one last time. On the matter of financial misrepresentation, I rule for the plaintiff. Meri Brown is entitled to full restitution of $186,000, and the Brown Family Living Trust is hereby dissolved. Gasps ripple through the courtroom. And regarding paternity fraud, he continues, the court refers this case to the Utah State Attorney's Office for criminal review. Kody lowers his head. Whitmore's tone hardens. Mr. Brown, you built a persona of a family man, but what I see is a man who weaponized affection and hid deceit behind devotion. This court cannot punish emotional betrayal, but it will not reward it either. He turns to Meri. Ms. Brown, many have called you bitter, difficult, emotional. But the truth is, you were simply brave enough to stop being silent. Your persistence brought truth to this court, and for that you have this court's respect. The gavel falls. Case closed. Outside the courthouse. Meri, Kody calls softly. She turns. He looks hollow. No bravado, no defense. Just a man stripped of illusion. I didn't think it would end like this, he says. I really did love you once. No, she replies. You loved control. You loved being needed. And when I stopped needing you, you stopped loving me. He swallows. What now? I rebuild, she says. Without you. Without any of this. You were always the strongest, he murmurs. That's why we tried so hard to break you. Meri nods once. Some wounds stop needing closure, Kody. I hope you find peace, but not at anyone else's expense again. She walks away. The sky clears, soft light breaking through gray. The air smells of rain, clean, quiet, free. Her phone buzzes. A message from Dana. Media's asking for a statement. Want me to say anything? Meri types back 2 words. Let them wonder. She sets the phone down, breathes, and watches the horizon. Some victories don't roar. They exhale. They exhale.